Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Notes straight from the throat. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Choppin' it up with Ramel. Notes straight from the throat.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Choppin' It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. Hey guys, let's get started. I hope everybody had a happy Easter, a happy weekend, a good weekend, a safe weekend, and a blessed weekend. Hey, let's get right to it. The playoffs, the second day of the playoff, for me, they did not disappoint. The playoffs was exciting and was good from start to finish. We'll begin with the first game. Washington, the number 4 seed, taking on the number 5 seed, Atlanta Hawks at home. And John Wall was just too much. I got to give credit to Dennis Schroeder. He held his own. He had 25 points, 9 assists. But John Wall was just all over the place. He had 32 points, 14 assists. He had a backcourt mate in Bradley Beal that had 22 points. In fact, the starting lineup for the Washington Wizards was all in double figures. Durant had 14 points, 10 rebounds, 14 points, 10 rebounds. Morris, he had 21 points. Bill had 22. Otto Porter, I think he had like 12. And just an outstanding game by this team. Bradley Beal and John Wall continue to show that they should be considered maybe possibly the best backcourt in the game. I would say definitely their top 3. I wouldn't even go as far as saying top 2. But together, they put on a show. To me, there was too much for Atlanta. Atlanta, like I said, Schroeder was 25 points. Millsap, he did manage to have 19 points. And I want to say Tim Hardaway may have had 14 points. But this was the John Wall show. It really was. The way he was setting up his team, the way the offense was flowing. They didn't need too much from the bench. They got a little bit from Kelly Oubre Jr. I believe he had 11 points off the bench. In fact, Brandon Jennings came off the bench, had 5 assists and no points. And he really held down when he came in as well. And he was a facilitator. It was almost like, there was no drop-off, except for he didn't score as John Wall did. But I see this series going 5. I don't think Atlanta Hawks have enough. Gortat outplayed Dwight Howard. And if you remember when Dwight Howard went to the finals back in Orlando, Gortat was his backup. He outplayed him. Dwight Howard managed to have 14 rebounds, but I'm going to tell you something. He has to score more than 7 points for the Atlanta Hawks. Plain and simple. If the Hawks were to advance in this series, they have to get more than 7 points from Dwight Howard. 7 points from Dwight Howard is just not enough. But Washington, they're victorious on their first game. And I look for Atlanta to make some adjustments and see what they can do to combat that backcourt. Because the backcourt is just too much. And they better get a hand on Morris. Moving right along, the second game of the afternoon. What a game it was. In the first half, it was anybody's game. McCollum was putting on a show. Just putting on a show. I believe he had 25 of his 41 points in the first half. Just putting on a show. When I say a show, just doing it from in and out. He was just doing it. And this game did not disappoint. It wasn't until the second half, until Golden State started to pull away, as Curry had one of those third quarters that we've come to see him have. One that Portland would like to forget. But this game was dominated by one man and one man only. And that was Draymond Green. In the second half, he came to play. He stepped up his game. Listen, this is his stat line. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists, 5 blocks, 3 steals. He was just everywhere. He was player of the game for me. He was almost at that rare stat 5x5. He was just all over the court. He was doing it all. He was the mainstay. Hey, good morning, Ramel. I see you tuning in. You ready to chop it up? You can call in. I'm running late for work, but go ahead and give a call if you like. He just came to play. He took over the game in the second half. He's their emotional leader, and he did not disappoint. Sure, Kevin Durant was 32 and 10. Sure, Steph Curry had 29. But this was about Draymond Green. And I'll tell you something. If Portland could get any help outside of their backcourt, maybe this could be an interesting series because they came to play. McCollum had 41. Dame Lillard had 34. What a battle it was. But it was towards the later part of the third quarter, going into the fourth, where Golden State seemed like they got a hold of this game and they did not relinquish it. And that's when Draymond Green became Draymond Green that we've become accustomed to. Listen, you know my motto. Stars need to play like stars when stars need to be stars. And in this case here, Draymond Green played like a star. Sure, the backcourt for Portland played like stars. But their stars came to play. Durant, 32 and 10. Curry, 29. Klay Thompson, a quiet 15. They came to play. The bench for Portland outscored Golden State. But when you have that type of performance and firepower and you're starting five, all the bench has to do is hold it down. And a guy like Ian Clark comes off the bench, he has 12 points. You know Iguodala is going to play some defense. In fact, he played a lot on McCollum in the second half, and he slowed him down quite a bit. So kudos to Golden State. Golden State do what Golden State does. But what a game it was yesterday afternoon was one to watch. And like I said, if Portland can get some help from somewhere else, Evan Turner, 12 points, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. They don't have the front court to help out the back court. It's really all about the back court. They may need 90 points between the two of them to contend with this Golden State team. But what a fun game it was to watch. The crowd was into it. Golden State, they're victorious. Kevin Durant, he gets his first win as a first playoff win as a Golden State Warrior member. What a game it was. Moving right along to the next game. This one here was filled with emotions. There was tears. There was respect. And there's so many words you could come out. And I got to give Isaiah Thomas and his losing effort. The guy was game. He showed toughness. He showed grit. He showed emotion. He showed that he was human. That's number one. And but he played his tail off. You know, he had 32 points. He did not disappoint. He had 32 points. He did have a couple of turnovers here and there. He got a technical foul. The eyes was filled, bloodshot red the whole game. But the guy played ball. Unfortunately, he came up on a losing stick because in the second half, Jimmy Butler showed why Danny Ainge should have pulled the trigger and acquired him at the deadline. Jimmy Butler was a beast among boys, let's say. He came out there in the second half and just took over the game. I mean, he rode the experience of Rondo. He rode the experience of Wade, but he rode himself, and he showed that he's the best player on the team, possibly on the court, and he just took over in the second half. What a game it was. He got a little bit of help from Bobby Portis as he picked up 19 points. Robin Lopez, he had a double-double, 14 points, and I think about 12 rebounds. So he had a little bit of help, but he was making big shot after big shot after big shot after big shot. Isaiah tried to match him, and he did pretty well, but you know what? Need another scorer on Boston. I know Horford hit a big three at one point, and he had 19 points in this game, but you need someone that can go for 25 at any time. You know, I think all season long they may have had 4 players score 25 points in a game for Boston outside of Isaiah Thomas. That you got to have more of that. You really do. Jay Crowder, he's got to step up his game. I mean, literally, he cannot come out there with 9 points. He's got to be the guy that's in 17 points or better. If Horford is at 19, he's got to be 17. Avery Bradley, 14. You look for him to be the defender, chasing around maybe D Wade or Butler, but you got to get a more effort somewhere, some scoring from somewhere else. Jaylen Brown, he had a rough night in his first playoff game. Marcus Smart, I can't say enough about this guy. You know, a lot of the stuff he does doesn't show up in a box score, but watching him defend is outstanding. This guy is all over the court. He defends very well, and it doesn't matter if it's the 1, 2, or the 3. And he's about 6'4", maybe 6'5", but I think 6'4". But he's a big, strong guy. Probably be an excellent football player, but the guy is all over the place. He did his best to defend and help out, but Jimmy Butler, he stepped up in a big way. So Ramel Wells says Golden State's going to breeze by the first 2 rounds. Yeah, I agree with that statement. I think Golden State is clearly going to the finals. Question is who they're going to play. I have them playing Toronto, but Toronto's got to get their act together and quickly because Milwaukee is not a slouch. So, yeah, I think Golden State will definitely breeze through. But getting back to Chicago, and you know what? I called this a win for Chicago because of what took place, and I didn't know what kind of shape that Isaiah would be in. I didn't know if he would quite play. But again, even in a losing effort, I got to give him the game ball. The guy came out there like it was just another day at the office, and he performed admirable. And he should be commended on that. Unfortunately, they didn't get the win, and Chicago did. But again, he played his tail off, and what a performance by him. But again, I don't take nothing away from Chicago. Bobby Porter's coming off the bench for 19 points. He was a monster, rebounding, playing some defense. It was just a good game to watch. A little bit slow at times, but in that second half, it took off to be a fun game. And then you had the game that I was really waiting to see. And this was just horrible. Somehow or another, Houston took the heart out of OKC. Just snatched it. Second half, snatched it away from them. This one here, 118-87. It wasn't even close. Westbrook finishes with 22 points. Harden shows why he should be an MVP candidate. 37 points, 9 assists. It's just too much. I think Houston has too much firepower to go up against OKC. They need help in a worse way. I don't know if you play the 2 bigs together because they're going to just spread the court. And now you're going to have 2 bigs out there, one guard Ryan Anderson, one guard Trevor Ariza. Maybe if Capella's out there, it won't be as bad, but I just don't see it. I don't see it. I think that OKC has got to find a bona fide second star or second scorer. They can't go with Oladipo. I mean, he can't be your Robin. He can't. Maybe a Batgirl or Commissioner Gordon, but he cannot be your Robin. They have to find a legitimate Robin to play alongside of Westbrook. A legitimate Robin. Or just a legitimate outside shooter. When you look at Harden, he doesn't have a Robin on the team. But he just has so many legitimate shooters out there that the team is a Robin. That's the thing. His team is a Robin. You don't have a Robin, but the team plays like a Robin. And so that's why he's victorious. Hey, Patrick Beverly might have stole the show yesterday from Hart. 21 points, 10 rebounds, just tenacious demon. He was kind of a Draymond Green type yesterday. Just that motivator, that energizer, that crowd hyper, just playing hard defense, hard-nosed basketball, in your grill, making it difficult, whoever's he's in front of. Just what a performance by Patrick Beverly. To me, he gets the game ball. I know Harden was 37 points, but that guy, Patrick Beverly, he did it all yesterday. I mean, he really did. He really did it all. So, Nene came off the bench with his slow flow. Anytime they needed a basket inside, he had 15 points off the bench. I don't even know how he plays with this team. But you know what? It's good to have a guy like that if it slows down or it breaks down, you got a guy in the paint that could just do something with it. Nene has been a solid player throughout his career. Some injuries has hampered him, but he's been a solid contributor no matter what team he's been on. He plays ball. So good win, good second day of the NBA playoffs. Other than OKC getting blown out, really wasn't no surprises or disappointments out there as far as watching the game. But I look for OKC to come back. But OKC hasn't beaten Houston all year, so maybe they just can't. And maybe I'm wrong about them getting a win. I thought this series would be a little bit closer and tougher. From the opening game, it doesn't look that way. So we got some NBA playoff games tonight, as there'll be playoff games every day this week. So Enjoy those. I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the New York Yankees. Once again, they win. They got a 7-game winning streak. I asked, are they the hottest team in baseball right now? Are they to be reckoned with going forward? I know it's early. But the more games you win in the beginning, the less you need at the end. Yankees are playing ball right now. They may not be on anybody's radar, but you better get them on your radar soon. Otherwise, they'll be somewhere where you expect them to be, and they'll be challenging for a playoff come towards the end of the season. And my Mets getting swept by Miami. Again, please go to the commissioner and say, they're in the South. Why are they in the East? They shouldn't be here. The Mets don't need to play Miami 19 games. They just don't. They can't beat them. They'll be the reason why they don't make the playoffs or win the division. Because they can't beat Miami. Miami can't beat nobody else, but they'll beat the Mets. And they will beat the Mets probably 12 to 13 out of those 19 games. That's just what it is. Anyway, that's going to do it. I got to get out of here. Hey, peace and blessings to you all. Appreciate you tuning in. Ramel, when you get some time next time, call up. And y'all be good. Peace and blessings. This is Ramel for Chopping It Up with Ramel. No notes, straight from the throat. See you in 24.